everybody, and welcome to Salt Lake Community College's Lineworker Apprenticeship Program. This is the first class in the series, the 1A class. So a lot of you are brand new, not only to being a line worker, but also to taking these classes at Salt Lake Community College. For those of you who don't know me, some of you may already know me. My name is Peter Reed. I'm the program manager for the apprenticeship programs. I'm also oversee the pre-apprentice programs, the substation programs, and the meter programs. So I do a couple things around here, and you'll be seeing me here and there. You'll probably see me at lab the first night. And I'll be in and out here and there, and I'm always available if you have questions for me. You can always contact me. I'll put my contact information here. You can email me, you can call me, whichever you want, whatever's easier for you. You can also contact me through Canvas, but I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. The first thing I want to tell you about Canvas is kind of how to get through the class, what's really going to be expected of you, and how to do things. So the very first thing, you're watching this video that's on the home page. To get started with the actual content, you want to go over here to the left where it says modules. You click on that, and you wait a minute, and it brings you up to the module view. Now each module should have a quiz associated with it. So you've got a couple different pages in each module. You've got an introduction page. This page just kind of tells you what this module is going to be about. You scroll down, you hit the little next button, it'll take you to the next page in that module, and this will be the workbook and all the videos. So what you want to do is you want to open up the workbook, or you can save it, whichever you want. It doesn't really matter. Put this, there we go. And the workbook follows along with the videos very, very closely. And you'll notice at the end of each section in the workbook, there are a few questions. I'll scroll down here and get to them. So you'll see this section quiz in the workbook for every section there is. I usually suggest people open this up while they're watching the video. That way you can answer these questions as you go along to make sure you're really getting the information out of the video that you should be getting. And most of the time, the quiz questions are going to come right from the workbook, and these questions you already answer anyway. So that gets you prepared to take the quiz. So go ahead, have that open while you're watching the video. And then when you've gone through all that, go ahead and hit the next button. And then make sure you actually got the right answers for those workbook questions to make sure you really did get the information on the video that you should have, and to make sure you understand what they were talking about. And once you're happy that you answer the questions right and you understand what's going on, then you can hit the next button one more time, and you can take the quiz. Now right now, this quiz is locked until January 9th. That's the first day of class. So we can't look at it yet, but you'll be able to get to it then. Let me show you real quick what the quiz will look like. Okay, once the quiz is unlocked, here's what you will see. I'll give you a little preview real quick. So you have a bunch of different questions. Usually there's at least 10 questions, usually up to 20. They're usually all worth 1 point apiece. But we've got a couple different kinds of questions. You've got the multiple choice. You've got these little round buttons where you can select one of the answers, and you can only select one of those answers at a time. Some of these are little drop downs. You just have to click on the little arrow and you can pick the answer you want to go in there. There's just some more drop downs. Sometimes you've got true or false. And let's see, there's some other ones. There's some matching, which you can figure out once you look at it. It's not that complicated. But the one I do want to point out is one of these. This is a multiple answer question. So it's one of these. It's not just that one of these is going to be the right answer. It's going to be more than one, or at least one. And that's why it says choose the correct answers, plural. So it's not necessarily just that, but it could be two of those, or it could be all three. And If you answer this question and you don't choose all the right answers, you'll just get partial credit. So that's one of the quizzes. And then for each quiz, you have 3 attempts to take it. So you've got a couple tries to get it all right. Um, and there you go. So that was the basics on what you have to do to get through this class. Now you will notice that each quiz has a due date. You're not going to get penalized for submitting a quiz late, but those are there to try to help you schedule your time, so you're not trying to do all the quizzes the last day of class. Now this class does start January 9th. The last day of the class officially is May 5th. So nothing, I won't be able to take anything after May 5th, but I'll be able to take any quizzes you do up until that point. A couple other things you need to know about Canvas, though, especially if you're brand new to it, is some of the navigation over here on the left. One of the things is, well, we'll start with the syllabus. Now, the syllabus gives you some basic information about the class in general. One of the things here right at the top, it gives you some contact information. There's my information right there. If you're taking the labs up here in Sandy, then your instructor is going to be Jess Pierce and Benji Eames. There's their contact information. They meet on Mondays and Wednesdays. So first and second years are Mondays, third and fourth are typically Wednesdays. If you're taking labs down in St. George, your contact down there is going to be Ryan Buller. And Ryan's actually already given me the schedule for this upcoming semester, and I'll be posting that here pretty soon. Gives you your grading scale. All your grade comes from just your quiz scores. Now you will see something called lab attendance here. That doesn't figure into your grade, but that's how I collect your attendance for the labs to go towards your hours that you need, and that gets reported back to IPSA. I try to update that as much as I can during the semester, but most of the time I'm always a little bit behind, so don't worry if you see that a little bit lower than you think it should be. Make absolutely sure when you go to lab you're signing in on the sign-in sheet to make sure you get credit for that time you're spending. Now the other neat thing about the syllabus is it lists all the quizzes and when they're due. So you get a quick look right away at what you've got going on. Now, one of the other things we want to look at, we already looked at the module view, and that's typically what you'll do most of the time. You'll come in, you'll go right to modules so you can get to everything. The other thing is grades. You click on the grades there, and it'll tell you what your grades are. Now, I can look at everybody. Obviously, you'll only be able to see your own grade, so you'll be able to see your grade for each quiz. And you'll notice here that the lab attendance is out of 0 points because that doesn't figure into your grade. Neither does this column here. So it'll tell you your grade as of right now. You can choose to have it show you what your grade is, or you can choose to have it treat anything you haven't done as a 0, which you'll probably never need, but it's there. And it'll actually show your letter grade as you're going along. One of the other things I want to show you guys, especially because you're new to Canvas, we'll back up a little bit here. If my computer decides to catch up. And here we go. All right. The People tab. This is a good way to contact me through Canvas. That way, Canvas will keep a record of that conversation. Because if you say, hey, you know, Pete, I saw this problem with this quiz, and I say, oh, yeah, I'll give you credit for that. Well, if you ask me a month later if you got credit for it, or you ask me about that, I'm probably not going to remember, but I'll have that information here in Canvas, so I have it to fall back on. So you can say, oh yeah, we talked about it on this day, and I can see it. So that's a good way to contact me right through Canvas. So you can just click on my name right there, and you can go to send message. And that way you can contact me right there. Now, one of the other really important things with Canvas has to do with your account specifically. So you want to go to where it says account right here and go to profile. Now, the important thing here is your email address. By default, everybody gets an email address from Salt Lake Community College that nobody ever checks. But that's what Canvas uses by default to send you information from Canvas. So you definitely want to go in here and make sure you add the email address that you use on a normal basis. So you click on the add email address right here, and you can put in that email address. And hit register. Now, that will send a confirmation to that email. You won't be able to use that email in Canvas until you go to that email and click on the confirmation. But once you do, and I'm going to get rid of that right here, it'll show up in this list, and then you can tell it which one to use as your default email address, which I use my normal work address that I check all the time. So that way you can get notifications to that email address and not some other one that you don't use. Now, once you've updated your email address, the other thing you want to go change is notifications. So if you click on your account over here again, go to notifications, you can set up your notification preferences. Now, these are important because sometimes if class is going to be canceled, I'll send out announcements through Canvas. If you have your notifications set up, you'll get that notification that there was a new announcement right away. So definitely, if you go in here for announcements, you want to get those right away. Now, for these other things, you can decide when you want to get those. Like if a due date changes, you can decide to get that just once a day. You can get it once a week, or you can not get that notification at all. But definitely for announcements, you want to get that one right away. That way, if anything's going to change, you find out quicker. And you can decide for the rest of these when you want to get those, if you want to get them at all. What's also kind of nice is if you have more than one email address set up, you can set up notifications differently for each one. So those are the big things to know with Canvas. Essentially, you've got a whole semester, you've got to get through all those modules, and you've got to do all the quizzes and show up to lab. But if you have any questions, you can always contact me anytime you know it, and I'll put my contact information up here again for you. But if you can, it's better to contact me through Canvas. That way I've got a record of it, and when you ask me about something, I can go back and refresh my memory. And that way you have access to the same information as well. So until Monday, we'll see you guys later.